Right, buongiorno from Mugello. We made it, just drove down in the van last 2 days with that in the distance, which we'll go and have a closer look at in a minute. This is the R1 from the road bike to race bike series, and we're now at probably, if not, well, arguably the best racing circuit in the world. This is one of the most historic, epic environments to go racing a superbike. We're not going to be racing today, but we are on the Yamaha racing event, YRE, Yamaha Racing Experience, I think it's called. So this is when all the Yamaha guys get their R1Ms out and go and willy wave. Now, also who's here is Paul Denning, who we've just done that interview with a couple of weeks ago on the channel, which was actually about a month ago, but anyway. So he's here with the boys, the Patta boys. I think Toprak's knocking around somewhere. I think Locatelli's knocking around. So yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool event. So as a recap to where the bike is, last time we rode it was in Almeria with pretty much stock everything, just a few little nuggets of information. Oh, look at this, that's a nice, we'll go and look in there, there's some nice bikes in there. But it was pretty much stock, and now the main thing we've implemented in the bike now is suspension. So we've got the full GYTR Öhlins forks and shock. That's what needs setting up the most. This isn't going to be, I've done a couple of YREs, it's not like hardcore on the pace events. Obviously there's some silly fast people here, but it's more about let's get the feel right, let's get the bike handling how it should. There's some Öhlins specialists here, and of course some race techs. So it's going to be a megalodon event. We've got Bridgestone supporting it here as well. If you haven't been to a YRE, it's like a track day on steroids. It's amazing. So let's have a quick little look around the bike, yeah, let's get excited. This is going to be a good event. Whoa, here she is. Here she is with her new suspenders on. And obviously it's had a bit of a paint job. Yeah, so a bit of an update. We've got the Öhlins GYTR forks in there. So these are the ones you get from the GYTR shop. They are the FG. Ooh, hang on. Anyway, I'll put the name on the thing. They're not the gas ones, basically. So, but they're absolutely more than adequate for me. We're running a super stock brake setup, so we've got the standard calipers. The Z04 pads are still in there, and we've got the standard master cylinder on there. We've got some Motul 660 fluid, so that's the temperature rating, so that should be nice. Tool screen on the top here, so that should be good on this near 200 mile an hour straight. We've gone for the 520 chain now, that's on here, so that's all proper as it should be. Rear sets are on, the shock is in. We've got the GB Racing covers on here. We've got some Motul 300V inside the engine. We've got the Arrow Track Day slip-on with baffle at the moment, so I'll whip that out shortly. And of course we've got the GYTR clip-ons in here, which are now properly fully mounted. I had to remove the R1, the fancy R1 brake lever guard, because it didn't fit with those clip-ons, but which is a bit weird, but anyway, that's the way it is. And a lot of you will be pleased to know the mirrors are off. Oh, you should take the mirrors off. Oh, it's going to get you at least half a second down the straight. It won't. And the number plate is off. So I need to get this inside, get it on the warmers. Oh, and of course we've got the full 6 carbon fibre tank extender. So this should give me a nice bit of support for my hefty weight. And big shout out while we're here to B-Moto, who's covered this bike on track for the next couple of days. And yeah, you guys get £10 off if you go and sign up and mention us for track day insurance. I think it's £10, something like that. Check the terms and conditions. I've got some fresh Bridgestone VO2s going in. These are the old ones from Almeria still on here, but I'm just going to wobble around, get used to the circuit, make sure everything's done up basically, and then off we go. So I'm going to roll this in, get on the warmers, get geared up, and get gone. Also, Mugello is super strict with any camera activity, so I don't know what we're going to achieve here, but I'll try my hardest. All right, cheers, guys. Bye. Okay, so first session out on track, and rolling down this pit lane is always very, very special. I just wanted to go out and have a few sighting laps really, and just see if I can remember which way everything goes. But the bike was really behaving quite wildly, as you can almost detect. The GoPro has hypersmooth on, so it's quite difficult to see just how much it moves around, but change of direction was really quite tough, and yeah, it was flighty. The hardest bit though was keeping constant throttle. You might be able to hear it through here. Yeah, the throttle application was really intense. I don't know what that guy's doing, but yeah, you can hear it through here. It just sort of doesn't want to be still. But I'm sure we'll figure this stuff out as we go. Oh, that's Andrea Locatelli just showing me how it's done and emasculating me. And this is a man checking the sound from the noise pipe. It passed. Well, that was hard work. We've got a lot to do, I think. Yeah, not only is it pretty hot here, we're in the middle of some sort of weird heat wave. The bike is completely different now with all of those bits on it. Just sitting on it is completely different. The handlebars are different, the tank's different, the foot pegs are different. I've got new boots on as well. So it was really alien. And also the first session I went out, I had no traction or wheelie on, and I think traction was on like the lowest, and it was wild. So it's quite difficult to tame. The other thing I've noticed is off throttle, it's quite snatchy, so you're mid-corner and you're like, It could be because the chain's got a bit slack after the first session, but it's really difficult to hold a neutral position on the bike at the moment. Suspension feels alright, brakes feel strong, but there's no way I'm testing them at the moment anywhere near where we'll be going later on today or tomorrow. So it's just trying to get comfortable on the bike. I need to change the rear set position. It's too high, I'm too cramped on it, I feel really awkward. So yeah, the screen's really nice on this massive straight. The gearing's pretty good. So yeah, a lot of work to do. In fact, here's a good measure. If you ask me, if I had to enter a race right now with that bike with all the expensive parts on it, or the stock bike where we finished at Almeria, I choose the stock bike currently. So, work to do, but it's fun work, even though it's bloody hot. Right. Oh, can you see the beading, the sweat? God. And that's just putting doing the tyre pressures. So, what have I done? I've changed my boots actually, and I've raised the gear lever a bit. And the front pressure, I felt like I didn't have much feedback from the front, and it turns out it was pretty low pressured, so I pumped that up to where it should be. I think we're running 32, 26, something like that in the rear. So let's go out, sweat some more, and hopefully feel a little bit more comfortable. And I've changed some of the traction settings and stuff as well, so should be a little bit better. Right, back, bye. Okay, so down at the pit lane. Few spots of rain at this point actually, which is interesting. So this is a pretty magical moment. That's Brad Ray, that's Toprak, and that's Baldassari, and that's Canepa. And it's very rare that you get to be on track with these guys, and it's so much fun following these guys around, and they're just having a laugh. Like, it was a real cool experience. So I'm just out now, really just trying to find my way around the track, and following these guys was was definitely helping. But yeah, the bike's still a little bit crazy, a little bit wild. So I think at some point pretty soon we need to find the Öhlins guys to give us a hand with the bike setup. But yeah, steady away. Let's call it steady away. So back to the pits. Well, yeah, it's hot. So, what did I do then? That was a cool moment. I was just coming onto the back straight, the pit straight, and Toprak, Locatelli, Canepa, all the boys came flying past me. It was brilliant. So, adjusted the gears, the gear shift rod, much more comfortable. Changed my boots, much more comfortable. Oh, interestingly, so I was finding the throttle the first time really abrupt, and like, you know when you've got a super slack chain and you get this sort of like and it was sort of overrunning going into corners. You could hear it like because it's got a system on it now, isn't it? A link pipe. So the fueling was not very good. It hasn't been mapped. So I popped the baffle in for that one, and it was way better. Like felt the application felt way smoother. So yes, you don't have quite a nicer noise, but the rideability of the bike is way better. So I popped that in. Had to come in. I adjusted the steering damper as well, tightened that up because it was all over the place, and then yeah, it was brilliant. Brad Ray was out here as well, so I followed him for a couple of laps. Mega, it's brilliant. So I think I'm just going to do one more sort of comfortable session, then it's lunch, and then I need to get some tyres on there because the front. I'm not putting it. Yeah, well, I'm tearing up the front. I'm not going fast enough into the corners. It's not getting enough temperature, and just got to try harder, I guess. Anyway, there was even some spots of rain in that session, which were quite nice. But mental rain, mate. Bye. Right. So earlier than expected, it's lunch now. So even though I'm a billion degrees, I'm now going to take these tyres out, well, wheels out, and get some fresh VO2s on there. Let's see what we can do. Fun. Right, tyres are on. Now, this is the moment of truth with this underslung quick release insert.
Quick wheel change.
Quick wheel change. So, drop it into the caliper. We're in. I don't even have to hold it. Push forward. Let's get the chain on. And then we're in. Axle. That's it. Yeah, that is money well spent. I mean, this should be 190. Very specific. 190. I'm going to double check it with a torque wrench. Have you got a torque wrench? Hey. Not a big one. Doesn't go to 190. Right, that was slick. Tyres are on. Warmers are on. This is actually the new Bridgestone. It's got some extra code behind it, which I don't think I've ridden before, so that's a new front they've developed. I've just chatted to the Öhlins guys who are going to come and help set up the bike, because we haven't even set up the static sag or anything with me on it. That's it really. What else have we got? And then just go and ride it. Go and ride it and enjoy this incredible circuit. Breathe it in. Right, let's get this bad boy set up. Right, so amazingly, full factory Öhlins guys are here to help me set up this bike. We haven't done any static sag or anything like that for rider weight yet. I've just literally been sort of cruising around, and it feels a bit wild, a bit unstable. It feels like there's quite a lot, not a lot of rebound compression, so it's sort of we're having a bit of a bit fast moving. So let's see what we can do.
Yeah. First, we normally do is we take a measurement fully extended.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this is fully extended because we're on the
it's fully
stands.
extended. Yeah, you can actually put a little bit of your foot on the wheel here if you have a very strong negative spring inside.
Okay. Yeah.
And then you measure the measurement. You measure
wheel axle to most solid point.
Yeah. But now we have this stand, so it's very good.
579.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we take one in the front.
So again, it's useful to have the under yoke stand so you can pull the fork out.
Exactly.
125.
Yeah. And then in the front, normally I take 3 measurements. and you're jumping a little bit because it's a little bit friction and all
Okay,
that, so you can actually get a little bit, so you don't take only one.
87.
Yeah.
Okay.
Few bounces.
We're back to 87, 5, 4, 8.
548.
5, 4, 6.
You take the fully extended measurement, and then you take the measurement what we get now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Minus,
Subtracts.
minus,
Yeah.
minus.
Yeah.
And you get the number.
Yeah.
And I get the number in the rear of 33 millimeter,
33 millimeters. Yeah.
and you have 38 in the front.
Okay.
And in this area, we use around 25 to 30
Okay.
in this area
Yeah.
for the rear. And for the front, we use 35, 40.
Okay. This must be 300,000 euro.
This one you have on this bike is a hydraulic preload adjuster,
Yeah.
and it's 2x1. So 2 turns is 1 millimeter preload.
Okay. 2
So you-
turns, 1 millimeter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 1, 2. That's 1 millimeter.
Okay. So that's a good tip to know then, actually.
Yeah. 1, 2. Now we have added 2 millimeter preload.
Okay.
We can start with this to see what's happening, and
Yeah.
also in the front, it's the number you have is 38. Is okay number, but the front door works a little bit low in the area.
Okay.
I think it's better for this front fork to work a little bit higher up in the stroke.
Yeah.
So we can add a little bit
Yes,
more.
please. Yeah. Yeah.
1 turn is 1 millimeter.
1 turn is 1 millimeter.
So we go 1, 2,
Yeah.
3.
And it's very important that you wear Crocs when you do this.
Yeah, that's very important.
89.
89. Okay.
My bad. 5, 4, 9.
So now you have 30 in the rear.
Yeah.
I think this is better. This measurement number is the target.
Yes. So in order to achieve that, you then put if you're way out, you then have to put different springs in, right?
Yes,
Okay.
exactly.
But we've already done that bit, so we should be okay. So shall I just go out? I'll do the next session. Won't bother with changing compression, reload, rebound, anything at the moment.
No, at the moment when you're starting with a bike like this, in my opinion, you start with a recommendation of our click position.
Okay. Okay.
So this is the rebound side on this fork.
Yep. So that actually says it there, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
it says on there. And to count the clickers, a lot of people have a problem, but the count the clickers is always like a tap.
Yeah.
You close them
Okay.
and you count. So this one, and then when you come to the end, you are gentle.
Okay. Yes.
Not forcing this one. Inside is pretty sensitive stuff. So you feel that you have the bottom here and you go out. You can actually feel a click all the time. So this was 11
Yeah.
on the rebound side.
Okay.
So in your opinion, we put it on 10 then?
Yeah, I'd say yeah.
Because you already been out riding.
Yeah, it's a bit bouncy. Yeah.
So we put that on 10.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's in the ballpark with the clickers. Also this one on 11.
Okay. Which is standard.
I put on 12.
Okay. Is that the end of the stroke, or is that the end of the stroke?
No, yeah, it's very good to measure here. When you come in, you should measure this position between this, and then because we have on this front fork standard, it's 120 millimeter of stroke.
Okay.
So then you should actually have, if you're bottoming this fork, you're down to 115.
Okay.
A little bit more than that, because the last part of this stroke is a pretty hard rubber.
Yeah. A
So
bump stop. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, a bump stop. So this, when you go out riding now and when you come in and lift this up, we measure this one and see how much stroke you use.
Okay.
But that was a little bit what I was telling you, that we put a little bit more preload on the front fork.
Yeah. So it shouldn't go down. We shouldn't have as much dive.
No, exactly.
Okay.
And then on these ones, you have one gold knob and one silver knob.
Yeah.
The gold knob is compression, and this one you do the same, like a tap.
Yeah.
Close it and count the clickers. So then you open up to count the clickers.
Okay.
So this one was on 12.
Okay.
In the ballpark here is 1440.
Okay.
I think it's good.
Cool. Just in time.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much for your help. And so I'll go and do a session. Come back. Tell you how it goes. Thank you very much. Okay, so rolling out of pit lane, ready to sample the new setup, and straight away the confidence that I've got on this bike now, it's so much better. The way that I can turn it in, the way that I can lean on the front, there's way less rebound as well. That was really doing my head in. With the bike just felt like it was on pogo sticks before and moving around way too much. This is much more suited for my weight, and yeah, the confidence is super high. Even coming down this corner in particular is really nasty. It's a real downhill, off camber, washy front end, and this was absolutely bang on now. Of course there's room for improvement, but first session out, amazing difference. So I highly recommend getting your bike set up with the professionals. Okay, great stuff. Back to the pits. Thanks. Excuse me, I'm just eating a chocolate biscuit. That was amazing. So we just did the Öhlins setup and a new set of tyres. Now, obviously the new tyres are insanely good. Like a fresh set of slicks, there's nothing like it. But having that, it's so much calmer, the bike now. It's so much calmer. It was real bouncy and like all over the place. And like, yes, partly to do with the grip, but that little session I just did then, I didn't do a proper full session. I just went out and did the tyre pressures, but then we ran out of time in the session because I was late going out. But it feels amazing. And I was like, after the first session this morning, I was like, shit, we got a lot of work to do. But now it's starting to come good. All the little tiny increments and changes. It's hard work, honestly. I mean, how can you call this hard work? But it is hard work getting your bike dialed in, and it's worth the effort. It absolutely is worth the effort, because if you don't get it set up right, forget it. Just forget it. You're going to have a shit day. You're going to feel bad about it. So yeah, those Öhlins guys were top. Bellissima. Okay, just about to head out again, and I'm going to put the lap timer on. Now, just to get a rough gauge, the only other time I've been here was about 4 years ago on Budget Bike Battle with the MVF4, and I think from memory I did a 2:10 around there. So I'm hoping this is going to be quicker than that, but we'll see. So let's just put a base setting in now. Now we've got the suspension in a place that we want to be, and then we can start from there and start trying to make improvements. And obviously track knowledge is key here. I'm still not braking anywhere near the limit, so let's crack on. Okay, so it's about time I showed you a full lap around Mugello, and this is impressive. Watch these two guys come through. Here we go. Locatelli and Toprak. Look at that drift and that bike control. It's insane. But anyway, so this is gearing up for, I think this is the fastest lap I did on day one. So I will just leave you here with the noises and tones and all my mistakes. that was good. The new tyres are amazing, and honestly, a lot of this now is just getting used to the track a bit more. But the time was a 203 flat with a little bit of traffic here and there. Optimum lap was a 202 something. So I think that's a good base, 203, and then we'll see if we can, by the end of tomorrow, get sub 2 minutes. That's the target. Whether we can or not, I don't know. The bike's also developed an engine light fault. We don't really know what that is at the moment. It might just be that it's really hot. So I'm just giving it a bit of a rest, and myself a bit of a rest. But yeah, the Öhlins guys popped back. They've given me a bit more preload in the front, and but yeah, it feels amazing. It feels really good now. It just setup is everything. So yeah, I'm gonna have a little rest. There is one more session left today, so we'll see what condition the bike's in, and then we'll go from there. But and myself as well. I mean, it's exhausting. So yeah, I'll report back later. My brain's absolutely fried.
Okay, so I headed out for the last session of the day and enjoyed the Italian sunshine. So I just thought I'd put this little bit in. I do actually run on here into turn one. I'll shut up now while you watch what happened, and then I'll explain in a second. So that was effectively 190 miles an hour. You come over a little crest, and that rider in front, nothing to do with his fault at all, it was all my fault. I just sort of panic braked a little bit, and the brakes now with this sort of super stock setup, they're really sharp and actually quite bitey, so the rear lifted up. You can't really see it on the GoPro very well, but if you're doing 190 mile an hour and you've got to let off the brake for half a second, you've done a long way, you've travelled a long distance, so hence why I went in the gravel pretty fast. But anyway, stayed upright, and all good. These things happen.
Daddy had a whoopsie. Yeah, the bike's a bit dusty. I don't know if you can see in here and in here. Worst place to run on really, which is turn one. But I just got a bit, it was my fault, I just got a bit distracted by the rider in front, and I was like, oh, don't hit anyone. Anyway. All alright, got out the gravel, so it's fine. But the biggest problem is the engine light is still on the bike, and I can't change the mode. I can't change any modes or anything, which basically means it's got to go to a Yamaha dealer to be plugged into a computer. That's just speaking with people in the pits here. I'm going to go and see if I can find the Crescent guys and see if there's a better solution. Because it's a bit worrying riding with an engine light on. I don't want to ruin anything, so I'm going to go and get some professional advice and see if they can help. So anyway, it's been an amazing day. The bike feels really nice now. Yeah, we're ready to rock and roll. Alright guys, I'm going to go and jump in a cold shower. Bye. Okay, Garage 5, they have a plug-in thing, so we're going to go and plug it in and see what the problem is. Okay, nobody seems that worried about it, so I'm sure it's fine. Okay, this is where the technical people hang out. Technical? Sort of. So this is a Yamaha only software.
Yeah, dealer software.
Dealer software.
Can be anything. Can be that your rear wheel was turning while the front wheel was standing still.
Yeah.
Normally you could reset it with the first 2015 model. You reset it, it synchronized, and the error was gone. With Euro 5, it's no longer allowed.
Ah, okay.
Everything has to be done by the dealer to make sure that it's not proper error or whatever.
Right. Okay. So it's a Euro thing. Okay.
So now it's checking. Okay, what went wrong? So here you have an expo server issue. So
Okay. So there is no X-hub valve.
okay, but it's recovered. The only thing was not recovered was the engine stall.
Yeah.
It's not an issue, but
it is like an iPad now, isn't it? It's like a video game. Like
The full combust system, everything. It's,
Okay.
You see the error light, it's gone now.
It's gone. Sweet.
Problem solved.
Yay! Okay, so we're sorted. Lots of very interesting information, actually, which I guess is why we're doing this, to help you guys with information. So difficult now with modern bikes to match up parts and get it all going properly, and you need this, then you need that. It's really difficult thing to do right. So I'll try and relay this information in a easy to understand format when I'm not cycling an e-bike around a paddock. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go and get showered up. I'm ready for dinner. So I'll see you dans le matin. What's morning in Italian? Where are we? Italy. Ciao. That's a good one. Ciao. Ciao, ciao, ciao.